Hey, what's cracking? How are you doing today? Hope this video finds you doing well. I hope that you, my friend, have everything going your way. I want to thank you for clicking on the video. If it's the first time you've ever watched one before, my name is Ricky Dye, and I went to prison in the state of Oklahoma for murder when I was 15 years old. Me and a couple kids were going to run away from home, and we were going to rob a store for money to get away, and this 14-year-old ended up accidentally killing the man, and I went to prison for murder for it. There's a little bit more to it than that, so if you want to know more, you'll have to start at the beginning of my videos, because that's where I started, and you'll enjoy them best if you start at the beginning, because I started with the crime, what led to that happening that night, what happened that night, and what led me to be in that position in the first place, and then how you get certified as an adult and sent to prison for a crime, exactly how that takes place. And then I just started from one prison after the next as they happen, explaining what's happened to me. And I share my stories in the hopes that you, my friend, will never have to experience it. And I tell my stories also to help families who may have loved ones in prison, to answer some of their questions for them. And if you have any questions that I don't answer in the videos, if you'd like to hit me up, I always have the link to my Facebook in the description down below. And you can click on that link and send me a message and friend me on Facebook. Send me a message on Messenger, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. You will enjoy the videos best if you watch them in order and start from the beginning. I'll be honest with you. Otherwise, you're jumping right into the middle of the story. And today, I will jump right back into my story with me at Holdenville. And it was about, I'm glad that today I'm talking about the 4th of July in prison instead of being in prison on the 4th of July. I got to tell you, I'm glad I'm talking about telling you today what they're going to be getting instead of telling you what I'm going to be getting. Shit, because I spent 21 4th of Julys in prison. I was in prison for 20 and a half years, and I was in there on a 4th of July 21 times. And every one of them sucked. And this is better than every single one of them. And every one that you're free is better than every one of them. And I want to tell you that really all it takes to make you happy in your life, man, is just to have something to eat and shelter, a roof over your head, people who love you, something to drink, and air to breathe. If you got that, you're a leg up, man. Because if you're up in the penitentiary, you've lost just about everything. People tell you when you can eat, what time for you to go to bed, when you can get up, and they lock you up like cattle. And that's what happens when you break the law. And unfortunately, that has to happen to some of us. So I just tell my little stories like I would tell my nephew if we were working up under a house and I bust my head on something. And I say, hey, man, watch out. You hit your head right there. I bust my head there. If you want to go ahead and bust your head, that's on you. But at least I told you to watch out and you had a chance. And so that's what we're talking about today. So believe it or not, in prison on the 4th of July, you know, one thing's for sure is you're not going to go hungry that day. Because they do. They have a special meal on 4th of July, no matter pretty much what prison you're at, medium security in the state of Oklahoma. Even if the yard is locked down, you usually get something special to eat. They'll usually give you a big old plate, and it'll have some baked beans or pinto beans or something on it, and they'll have hot dogs as well as hamburgers, so you get kind of two meals instead of one. They usually give you a bag of chips or something, but they'll give you a big old meal at lunch on the 4th of July. And a lot of places will give you such a big meal at 4th of July during lunch that you'll just get a sack lunch to take home for a snack at night because your tray will be so big. You might have corn on the cob on there, beans, hot dogs and hamburgers, potato chips, probably give you something sweet to go along with it. And a lot of places will if there's a band on the yard, they'll let them come out and play for the yard on 4th of July. And a lot of places do that if the yard is open. Unfortunately, a lot of the harder medium security yards, the yard's not open, and so they don't get anything like that. But they will still get an extra large meal. And I was locked up during this story. I was at Holdenville, and it was around 4th of July. And I have been bringing in now. I have been getting Shelly to bring weed into me and stuff. If you've been keeping up with my story, you know where I'm at and what's going on. I want to address a comment right quick before I go any further in my story. In the last video, I was talking about how I got in a fight and over nothing. It wasn't over drugs. It wasn't over anything. It just drop of a hat. Got to be ready to fight at the drop of a hat. It could be over nothing. And he said, in all my stories, I always go for backup. So, no, not in all my stories. You evidently haven't listened to all of them because, no, a lot of things happen at the spur of the moment. They happen right there on the spot, and you don't have time to go tell nobody about nothing. But when you're not in a gang, in Oklahoma prison. That's where the politics comes in. If you're in a gang, if I was in the UAB, if I got into it with anybody, black or otherwise, then all my brothers are immediately on my side. If I'm a Crip, all the other Crips from my set are going to ride with me. But if you're not in a gang, and especially in the situation where I was a white guy in a gym that was predominantly full of black people, there were a few UABs in there, a few white guys. But if I would have taken it and made it into a racial deal, if I wouldn't have went and got those other blacks to come and make it one-on-one for me, if those whites, if I would have pulled them into it instead, it would have ended up a few of us whites against a whole bunch of blacks. It would have got blown out of proportion, and we would have ended up probably getting hurt. So that's the reason I would go to someone else. You always want someone there to keep it fair. Now, if I just get into it with you and I hate you and you hate me and one of us is taking the other one out, I'm not going to tell nobody shit. I'm going to try to get at you, man. But if there's a possibility of it becoming something larger, you never want to find yourself in a race war in prison. You never want to find yourself in that situation, because even if you win on the spot, it follows you everywhere you go. So, like, say you got the numbers here. There's more whites than blacks, and you get the best of the blacks. But then when you go somewhere else and the blacks know who you are, they put word on you, man. And when you get somewhere where there's more blacks, well, then they'll have the numbers, and you'll be the motherfucker getting carried out. So prison has a lot of politics when it comes to racial things, and it's important, always was for me, to never let things get racial. And it wasn't long after that, we were down at the gym, and there was a guy named Red, a black dude, and he was selling weed for me. He had been selling tobacco for me when I had it, but now he was selling weed for me. And I'm down there, and we're down in the gym, and he didn't come to the gym. And there were some black guys wanting to holler at him to get some weed from him, and he didn't come to the gym. And so they're over there mad at him, and they were saying he's old ratty motherfucker, this and that, will take his weed. But he's got my fucking weed. So I can't allow them to take nothing from him. That's my shit he's selling over there. So I go back to the unit and tell Red what they're saying. And Red's like, oh, man, they got me fucked up. But he didn't want to come off the unit and go confront them. And I'm like, no, dude, you got to go down there and say something to these dudes, man. Make sure that everybody don't start saying you're a rat, because I can't give you my shit if everybody's calling you a rat, even if I know you're not. You can't let people say that. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck what they say as long as they don't come up. Well, it's different for blacks than it is for whites, I guess, because me being a white man, I can't allow some guys to call me a rat over there and just be like, fuck it, I ain't going to say nothing as long as they don't come over here. As a white guy, you can't do that. If you allow someone to do that, you'll get stomped off the yard. But I guess blacks, I don't know. He was like, fuck them. I don't care what they say as long as they don't. But I ended up keeping on fucking with him all week long till I got him to go down there. And he did go down there and talk to him about it, but not until he was pushed. He ended up making some deals with him and shit. But I don't know, man. I mean, white guys, if someone's down there calling you a rat because you didn't come off the unit, you're going to have to do something about that. The weed don't even matter anymore. But somehow they still ended up doing business, and it was all good. But, you know, being that he was doing that shit for me, I had to go back and say something to his ass. Hey, man, look, these dudes are saying this. You need to come up off this fucking unit so people don't think you're scared. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up doing that, so, yeah. So, if you haven't noticed yet, check this out. The Riders and the Dyers, baby. This is compliments of Chris Ramache. This is the first design. Riders and the Dyers, with him sitting on the side of the motorcycle. It's like the Ghost Rider guy. And this is the second. This is the second one. All right, these are a lot higher quality shirts. And Chris will be mailing them for me directly. The shirts are $25. I'm not trying to make much off of them. The shirts are a lot higher quality than the other t-shirts were. And they're thicker and they feel good, man. They'll last. They're not those little cheap Gildan shirts. And I've got some other designs coming. So before long, up there on the channel, it'll say Shop the Ricky Dye Store, or it'll probably say Shop the Rider Dye Store. And I'll have these designs up in it. I'll also have some of the Pick Up Your Blessings designs up there. Also, Donna Goff, I've got her doing some embroidery on some hats, and those will be going in the store soon. So, but the Rider Dyes, they're ready to go, man. And you can, on these shirts, you can get anywhere from medium to 2X for $25. You can choose the color of the shirt. I wanted black, but you can get black, white, light gray, beige, red, navy, or royal blue. In the description of the video, you can click on the Facebook link and send me a message right through there to Messenger. or my email address is down also in the description, as is my Cash App. So you can send me the money straight to me. It's $25. $7 is shipping and handling. I can tell you from experience, when I mailed out all the other shirts that I mailed out here recently, that it cost between $6 and $8 to mail those shirts out, depending on the size of the shirt, how much it weighs, how big the package is. So we made it a straight 7, and anything over 7, he'll eat the rest of it. So it'll be a straight $32 if you send it on Cash App, or before long I will have my store up. So shout out to Chris for these first shirts, and I hope you guys like them. I hope you guys want a ride or die shirt, man. So I'm really proud of them. I think they look awesome, and I think it was really awesome of Chris to hit me up. And you order the shirts through me. I'll let Chris know the shirt's been ordered, and it'll be in the mail usually the same day. If not, it'll be in the mail the next day or two after. So you won't be waiting a long time to get the shirts. You'll get them as soon as they're ordered, and you can get the color shirts you want. And they're nice shirts, man. Just like I said I wasn't gonna get no cheap ass shirts, man. I wasn't happy about that shit. I didn't want them to be cheap. Hell no. So I hope you all guys have had a wonderful 4th of July. I hope that this has been a good 4th of July for you. I hope that today you have chosen to pick up your blessings, that you're thinking about all the ways in your life that you're blessed, all the blessings that you have, because there are many, many, many. Guarantee you sit down, you can count way more blessings than you can curses. But sometimes we get stuck on those curses. It seems to be all we can see. So I hope you don't get stuck in that place. Pick up your blessings, man. Tell them Ricky Dye told you to do it. If you need any construction work done in Oklahoma, Mid-American Construction. You need some plumbing done down around Ida Bell, Straight Flush Plumbing. That's John Doe. His link's in the description. If you haven't shown him no support yet, go do that. If you need any pest control in Oklahoma, DOA, Dead on Arrival Pest Control, Dustin Lackey. That's my cousin, and he'll make sure you get took care of. Until the next video, hope you guys stay safe. May God bless, keep, protect each and every one of you and yours. Till then, peace out.